You might remember in a recent video I talked about the overall facts of sugarcane. However, in today's video, I'm going to be doing an overall explanation of how sugar is grown, harvested, and processed to make the brown sugar that you receive at home from the supermarkets and use for baking and all sorts of other things that sugar is used in this world. Let's go back to nature. In today's video, as I said, it's going to be all about sugarcane. So let's get into it. So how is sugar grown? Sugar is excessively and extremely easy to grow. All you need to do is grab a piece of sugar and put it in the ground, and within a few days, it'll sprout up and be grown. Here in Costa Rica, however, it grows like wildfire. As you can see, all of this is just sugar cane and some other grass, but it spreads rapidly. It's highly invasive. It's taking over this coffee and everything. So growing it is the easiest thing you could think of. Then harvesting is just cutting it with a machete, and there you go. Now we'll be taking you over to how it's processed, which is the real interesting part about this video. After the sugar has been cut into uniform pieces, it is put through this machine. It is a sugar mill. You put the sugar in through here. The juice comes out through here going into this bucket, which will then be used to make the final product of sugar. And then the residue comes out here to be composted to make fertilizer for coffee. This is Don Jose, the owner of the trapiche, which is this entire sugar processing facility. I really like all of this process of processing the sugar. So he's going to show us how to use this machine. You have to get it in there, and then it just gets it in, and the juice starts coming out of here. It's amazing, natural sugar flavor. And then you see the residue comes out here. This is a really interesting machine. The motor's over here. It pulls out wheels. It all goes so fast. Just to mill this sugar. Yeah, very tasty stuff. This is the machine that is used to make the sugar juice. Now we will go over to how the sugar is processed into sugar, like the sugar that you use for everyday uses. This is the traditional trapiche, which is used with 2 oxen that pull this, and it slowly twists around. It is a lot slow, but it's the traditional way that's been done for many years. And it gives the same product. It's basically just one of these mills, just that it's manual, being turned around with this. And by the way, Trapiche El Guacal, as this is called, offers tours, which you can come to if you're planning on visiting Costa Rica. This is a wonderful tour option. They take you on a tour of the entire property, coffee plantations, and the Trapiche, and you get a free breakfast and free lunch with the included all this making the sugar, and you end up with over there. I'll show you in a moment, but this is where the final product will come out of the mist. This is the sugar juice that is extracted from the mill, which is then poured into this tub. Originally, we poured a large amount of sugar juice in here in the morning, and it was all the way up to the top here to these red bricks right here, and it slowly, over the course of 5 hours, boiled down. You can see it is fueled by coffee wood and other old parts, all miscellaneous farm garbage that is used. to fuel this. After about 5 hours, you can start to see it just bubbling, and it forms a crust at the side of the tub. That is what tells you that it is ready. After it has boiled down like many times its original size, when it's all the way down and there's the crust at the sides, it's ready. The next step will be to turn it into our final product. You can see the sugar has now cooled. It is a lot denser now, and now it is being poured into these molds, which are to make tapa de dulce, which is a round-ish thing that it's just sugar, but in a piece. So you can dissolve it in water or break it up to make ground sugar. "15 minutes later, the tapa de dulce had cooled enough to be separated from the mold. We then let it dry an additional 10 minutes before it was ready to be consumed. So now you've learned how sugar is made and the very interesting and exciting process to do it. Please hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this and other interesting histories and all sorts of things. Thank you very much to Don Jose and his family in Trapiche, El Guacal, for hosting us here today and showing us how sugar is made. Without them, this wouldn't have been possible.